To make a final argument, both Descartes and Berkeley's claims may seem to contradict each other, but they both have similar conclusions in their arguments. All what we experience or perceive immediately in our lives are ideas that passively happen to us without our interference. From the article, Descartes distinguishes between two other concepts, primary properties of objects and secondary ones. He argues that the essence of the objects is primary properties that cannot be perceived by the senses, whereas the secondary which can be perceived are not real.
He gives the wax example to explain that all the secondary properties of the wax, such as color, shape, etc., change when heating it, yet it is still wax because of its primary properties that we cannot sense.
According to Descartes, real does not mean sensible, because senses are not always right. Hence, what is real exists, but we do not sense it. Descartes uses primary and secondary concepts as things we can see are not necessarily real. However, the only reality that we are capable of sensing is the essence of the mind. Using the example of the wax, Descartes is trying to portray that all we can see and sense is not the collateral reality.
In contrast, Berkeley attacks the idea of materialism and proves that materialism is wrong by using the Leibniz principle. As stated in the article, if Berkeley's Leibniz principle that uses an idea can only be like another idea is granted, representational materialism is in serious trouble.
If material objects are supposed to be extended, solid, or colored, Berkeley will counter that these sensory qualities pertain to ideas, to that which is immediately perceived, and that the materials cannot assert that material objects are like ideas in these ways. To summarize, the point Berkeley is trying to make about material objects is that all sensory qualities of objects we cannot truly affirm are like ideas. Therefore, both Descartes and Berkeley both believe that our sensory perceptions of the world are considered ideas from the minds. Above all, René Descartes and George Berkeley can come across as two parallels that can never intersect each other. They both refer to God in their arguments, they both agree to sensory experiences being innately perceived in the mind, and they both come to similar conclusions.
As St. Bernard once said, a quote that may or may not have been referred to these great philosophers, but certainly does clarify how both these historical philosophers saw the world. One person's craziness is another person's reality.
Created using Powtoon.